Well, hey there. Pastor Kevin here again for today's Home Huddle as we continue walking through this book of Daniel. Today I'm coming to you from the chapel at St. Peter and Paul Lutheran Church. It's a place maybe of prayer for you. The altar space here goes back even to our old location over in Hancock. It's been with us for, probably longer than I've been around. We'll say that. Well, I'm here in this chapel today, in this place of prayer, because today in chapter 9, we hear a sincere and somber prayer from the heart of Daniel as he prays on behalf of all of the people of Israel. Now, we know that Daniel was a man of consistent prayer. It actually got him in trouble back in chapter 6, right? When Daniel kept on praying, as he always did, even after King Darius had made a law against prayer for 30 days. So maybe it's not surprising that we find Daniel praying in this chapter. But what is surprising is the content of Daniel's prayer. Daniel is praying a prayer of confession. He's asking God for forgiveness. But Daniel himself hasn't done anything wrong. Now, I'm sure if we actually asked Daniel, that he would readily admit that he's not any kind of perfect human being. Daniel knows the difference between God's character and between the character of God and of humankind. And just look at verse 7. But all the details from the stories of Daniel, especially in the first 6 chapters, they seem to indicate that Daniel was not someone who was decidedly disobeying God's commands. Daniel wasn't disobedient. He was devout. Daniel wasn't hard-hearted. He was humble. And yet, Daniel takes ownership of Israel's sin and wretchedness. He doesn't judge Israel and then talk about his own self-righteousness. No, he lumps himself right in with this community that he belongs to, and he carries their guilt, even if he hasn't personally harmed anyone. Now that's humility. How does this shape how we see sin in our own world today? What sorts of injustices are taking place on a broad scale in the world? What's our connection and our responsibility towards those issues? And what is our response? Keep those questions in mind as you ponder this prayer from Daniel. And may God continue to bless your walk with Jesus today as you share, read, talk, pray, and bless together.